xiphoid, angle down, use the left lobe of the liver. Sometimes you're going to get a much better view of the pancreas this way. Not necessarily on Rachel today, but always try. So for Rachel, I can actually see her pancreas way better like this. So, is that good, guys?
Call us over there, because somebody on Wednesday, I don't want to see names out loud because I don't remember who it was. I came over and you had no pictures of the pancreas. Like, well, I can't see the pancreas, and I went,
that was me.
It is, and it was perfect.
That was me.
Was that you?
Yeah, it was me.
Yes.
Well,
You're like,
I've never done the
You're like,
angling
I
down
can't
now.
see it. I'm like,
But I'll never miss it again.
It was there before.
So here we have the pancreas, right? Can everybody see this?
Yes.
So here's the pancreas tail. It's going way to the bottom of my film. Spine shadow, aorta. What's this one?
SMA.
What's this one?
Confluence.
Confluence near the head, but when I start going this way, splenic vein. What's this? What's this? Good, right below the GDA. So if I'm looking for my SMV, I'm actually going to start finding my portal vein confluence. I'm going to turn long on it. Now what's it going to do? So now my portal vein confluence, is right here, right? The confluence going towards the spleen. My SMV is going to come up this direction. Remember, it's coming up from below. So what I generally do if I need to find it is I sweep. So I sweep all the way. I'm in the liver, so I missed it there. It's not there, so now I'm going to come back towards the midline, and I'm going to sweep. There we go.
So it's the red one, right?
So
it's coming in
yes,
different directions.
yes. So we are out of plane to see the entire confluence because of the way her anatomy lies. But it's going to come up this way, and your splenic portal is still going to be going this direction, just like on our diagrams. Remember how that came up into almost a 90-degree angle?
Right.
It's going to be very much the same except for no straight lines. So sometimes, and some of you guys, look, we can get both pieces right there.
What is that?
So again, here is the confluence, right? And here's where it's joining the SMV, and here's the splenic portal confluence, SMV coming down this way. Now I'm angling up, I'm heel toeing, I'm sweeping, and I'm using my color as a tool, not as a crutch, right? When you take color off, it's kind of a challenge in most people. Oh, not hers. Wow. Let's see a meet, okay? Here's her SMV. And here's it. Boom, right there. Look, it just joined. So, does that make sense, everybody? Is that a little helpful?
So if you
Yes,
have
Lindsay.
the confluence and you're coming over, will you see aliasing because it's turbulent blood flow because they're meeting together there?
Generally no. I mean, you can see me as I'm sweeping through this. This is generally how I do it.
Okay.
And in most labs, you're not going to be looking for the SMV unless you're working at a vascular lab doing mesentery studies. That's usually when you're going to need to find this, or when you come to Wayne's Master Scan Lab on Saturday when we do the abdomen. That's when you're going to see it. Now, if I scoured it, Lindsay, the answer is maybe. Like I can see a little bit of red right there, but usually no, and I'm not usually looking for it either.
Okay.
If I need to find it, I go long on it. I get my long portal vein, and I'm long to her body, and I'm just going to sweep towards the liver. If I get all the way into the liver, then I'm just going to sweep back. Usually it's going to be around the level of my celiac SMA.
Okay.
So you can find the SMA and just toggle over, and you should see the SMV
Right.
also too, right?
You should, but yeah, you can find it. If you can find it like that, go for it. It's all acceptable. It's just this is the easiest way that I found that I can consistently do time and time again,
Okay.
just by my
On the same
landmarks.
plane.
Right. Okay. So you're
Right,
not-
on the same plane. So I'm
She's
not
following
turning
it
too
from
much.
where it comes in,
Right.
but yeah, I see what you're saying.
Questions, guys? Does that make sense?
Yes.
So what anatomy am I seeing here?
Confluence, pancreas.
IBC.
What's this?
Renal vein.
Left renal vein. What's this?
Okay.
What's this?
Spine.
What's this? IVC, good. So a lot of you have been asking about the right renal vein.
Oh,
If
yes.
I am, first of all, it comes off really fast. So if you see your left renal vein, you're at the right renal vein almost always. If you're struggling to see it come off the IVC, one thing that I do, I don't know how Stephanie does it, but one thing that I do is I actually get my kidney in view. And I just use my little color. Oops, wrong way, sorry. Use my little color to see when it's coming off into the kidney. It's gonna be right there.
For our
See, there's her little kidney.
For our competency, you want it to us to show it coming off the IVC, not coming out of the kidney,
Correct.
correct?
Correct. Little breath in.
Bonus picture.
So she wants
From the
left and
IVC
right
to the kidney,
renal
right here.
veins coming off the
I think
IVC.
that's something
Okay,
we get that in for competency, like showing.
You have to have the right
Get it
vein.
from the kidney.
The
With
right
the
kidney.
color
I
on,
know,
you'll,
I'm not as good that way.
In picture.
with the
The
color
left
on,
one
sure,
comes off
but you can
IVC.
also remember, you take this picture and then take it with the color off, so we
Yeah.
can see it. Make sure it's not artifact. So IVC, here's your right renal vein. Stephanie, is this okay with you as
Yes.
well?
Yes,
Okay.
as long
Yes,
as
the
you
right
see it
one's
on-
coming
you
out
have
of
the
the-
IVC in there, like I know something you
or
were
kidney.
going to the kidney and you're showing the vein.
But it's
but
also
you're
off the IVC.
going up to the
So
IVC.
left is this way, right is this way.
You know what I mean? Like
So
they're showing valve,
left
they're
is
not
coming
showing
out of
valve.
the IVC going into.
You want it to be
the
off
That
the
was
other
perfect.
side.
Like,
And
you
then
just
right.
show us perfect.
So it's
So
like
show
taking a
that.
picture of the arteries, the renal arteries on the aorta. It comes off both sides.
And so
No.
what's my landmark? Again, it's
Actually,
the
I'll
renals,
show you
right?
later.
Renal artery, the other renal vein. What else have you guys been struggling with a little bit? So we know the splenic is the other half of the confluence. Nobody's confused about that, right?
No.
You do the
Do
celiac
we,
trunk.
do you want it as a longer shot, or that's fine, just a little?
That
Do you
was,
want it all
that's
the way
okay.
down the tail?
That's,
Which view?
this is okay, as long as you can point to it. I would really like for you guys to kind of show off a little bit and get that tail for me. So, just let me show you something. So like this, we can see the pancreas tail.
Mhm.
We can see a little bit of the splenic, but then if I start to angle, look at how much more of it we can see. All of this, right? All of this all the way down. Now, the other pitfall is what? Sometimes you guys are mixing up, and everybody does this, you're not that special. Sometimes people mix up the splenic vein and the left renal vein. So, if I'm looking at my splenic vein right here, I should know that my left renal vein is going to come right across here. Little breath in and hold. It's going to come right through here, right? So this is going to be my left renal vein. Now, also, I know if I have my left renal vein, my left renal artery is going to be right here. So here's where I'm going to start to scour for all of those branches coming off of the aorta. Go ahead, Grace, sweetie. Can't find our renal artery. Hold on. I actually find it better without color these days. So here's her, can you see her right renal artery?
Yes.
It's right here. It looks like it's coming off the IVC, but it's actually not. Notice how straight those lines are. That's the right renal, and the left renal is right next to it. Wow. You guys see it?
Yeah.
Struggling more with color, so let me turn color off. And there's her right renal artery. Left renal artery. Thank you. I was testing you. There it is, right there. So, and then the celiac. So I know if I see my renals, which way am I moving my hand? More proximal or more distal to find celiac? Proximal, good. So here I'm coming up, and now I see something going on right here. See that? How I just saw something pass?
Yeah.
Then I know I passed it. So now I need to focus on where is her celiac trunk coming? Right there. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Color. How did it get inverted? So celiac trunk, so aorta, celiac trunk to my seagulls. And so Alan, see how it's blue? And that's okay, because it's going in the different direction. What two branches are these? Good, good.
So that's okay for the paddock garden, you don't want that long?
I want the seagull. How do you want it, Stephanie?
I want the seagull.
You'd rather have the
Okay.
seagull
More than the
all
trunk?
three of those.
Oh, I want both. I wanna see the trunk coming off and I wanna see the seagull.
So like for Rachel, I actually have to scoop a little bit. So I have to come down on her belly just a little bit and scoop a little bit to get more of that in one view. So see if I manipulate my hand a little bit, now look at it. So see that? Now I can almost get it all in one plane. Little Bertha?
Oh my God.
Breathe.
Wow.
Right? So when you get it, don't stop. Try to make it better. And I'm always telling you, try to make it better. Stephanie's always telling you, try to make it better. That's what we're talking about.
You scooped under for that?
I did. I scooped under, but I remember you got 360 degrees of opportunities there. For her, the under scoop was better. Sometimes the over scoop might be better. Sometimes the left scoop might be better.
There's a lot of you, some of you, the over scoop is better.
Yeah.
Try both.
Yeah, I agree with Steph. A lot of you guys, I find the pancreas and all these landmarks better if I put my probe this way and sweep through the left lobe this way instead of being right on it or instead of being under it this way. Because what is this doing? This is using that left liver tip as a window to see. Not everybody has a big left liver tip. This isn't going to work for everybody, but definitely try. Good questions, guys. Does this help clear things up
Yes.
in their starving state? Any other questions about any other body parts?
Wait, when you're using the left liver as a window, you're not directly in the midline. Where are you?
Well, when I'm using the left lobe as the liver, what am I using it to see? If I'm using it to see pancreas, I'm more centered. If I'm using it to see this, I'm gonna go where this is. Hers went off to the side a little bit. So I was off to the side a little bit, not directly midline. I go where the anatomy tells me to go. But I gotta use things as a window, you guys. Remember, I even told you, I use the jugular vein. We all use the jugular vein as a window to see the carotid. When my guy has calcification, arterial disease in his legs, and I have to image those arteries or image those veins, I'm using the vein as a window to see through. So every time in the body, you're gonna have this opportunity. You just gotta have the wherewithal to know it's an opportunity, right? And that's why we're here practicing. Wow, that is nice. You made a nice seagull, Rachel. Thanks. Anything else, guys? Stephanie, anything else to add?